structure from the Olympics down south. That's what's going to be there. That's what's really going to make a difference for them. They won't move at the speed that we move, but this is what will be there. I mean, you can agree with that or disagree. So the changes in the science and technology and the relationships, I think, are absolutely critical. The most important part of the provincial reconstruction teams were the land-grant university skills that came to country. An agriculturist was so much more valuable than a military person. I mean, that's just the reality of it. That's what's going to change that country. So,
Let me comment. There have been lots of successes in the Department of Defense in terms of programs that have leaned out and been very innovative going forward. You don't hear about them much. One is called Rover, which will take the downlink from the remotely piloted aircraft and get it right down to the individual soldier. Incidentally, it wasn't even a program. There was no program created. We've made tens of thousands of these things and bought them and spread them around. And there's a lesson there. Our acquisition system is cumbersome. It takes way too long. When we get one moving and we've got the research and development done and it's time to buy things, you know, we amortize the R&D cost across the number of articles that we end up buying. So if you bought an iPad, if Apple did the R&D for an iPad and sold 10 of them, they're going to cost a heck of a lot of money. I think we need to buy lots more of the tools that we need to do the job, and we need to skinny down our acquisition side of the house to work in small teams across multi-disciplines.
If I could add to that, I think spot on. A couple of observations. First of all, where's the black swan here? Where's the stealth of the 1970s? Or the UAVs that began to appear in the 1990s. In many ways, I would argue that we've reached a sort of plateau. And this is in terms of technology for major systems. And what seems to be making the difference, everything from infinity sights for rifles all the way up through UAVs on aircraft carriers, is how we take these large legacy systems and adapt them to new technologies. But my question, and the question that we have to answer is, so what's next? What's the game changer? We are not structured well within the DoD to anticipate the black swan. Our S&T community is frankly, since I work with them every day, frankly more focused on institutional perpetuation than they are in finding the next big thing and exploiting it for the military. And that's too bad, because to get to Pat's point, I guess the great fear would be that if the Chinese were the ones to find the black swan, not us. So I think that in large systems, we've reached a plateau. Airplanes aren't a whole lot faster than they were 20 years ago, or ships or tanks. It's what you put on them that counts, and I'm not really sure that we're structured to be able to stay ahead in that area. Listen, we're running out of time. I can't tell you how much I've enjoyed moderating this panel this morning. I'd like to just, it's been fun. And I'd like to just, and I hope you've enjoyed it, but I'd like to just hit a few points that I think sort of synthesize what we've seen today. A change occurs as wars wind down, as I said earlier. And if you've seen from all four of us up here, there are differences as to how we believe that change should occur. But it seems that one of the things we all agree on, regardless of whether you fly fighter planes or you're Bob, is that balance, in order to mitigate risk, that balance is the secret to the future. Secondly, or third, I think we have to learn to retain an effective military with budgets that are going to be drastically reduced in the future. And last, I think we would all agree that while material is important, there are other aspects to transformation and reform that perhaps are just as important and perhaps a great deal cheaper. Well, thank you all very much for your attention.
I think you've all earned your credits today, and what a tremendously interesting and enlightening panel. We're going to move to the private sector in about 15 minutes. We're going to have some of the leading executives coming to join us to talk about the industrial side of this and the acquisition side of it. So please take a few minutes, take a break. There may be some coffee out there. Visit with our guests, and we'll reconvene in about 15 minutes.